Why do you find the political system boring?
All politics today are based on a theory that there are evil people out to get us. I do not believe that.
Which part of evil people out to get us do you not believe? 1. That evil people exist. Or 2. That they are out to get us.
I give little credence to either part. Every person I have ever met believes in her heart that she is good. If we want to get along with others, we merely have to appeal to their definition of what is good. I have found it possible to intersect with every person I've met. I have yet to find anyone who can force me to do something I don't want to do.
What about if a kidnapper took your daughters?
If a kidnapper convinced me that my girls would only live if I followed orders, I would comply for as long as he could maintain the threat, but I would still believe that he thinks he is somehow doing good. Call me an eternal optimist, but I would try to find some intersection of values with the abductor. If I could not, I would give him whatever he wants. I would even be his slave until I could find a way to stab him in the back. But I would never give up trying to free myself or my girls. People always find new ways to fight for liberty. That's why hostage and slavery scenarios are so unstable.
Aha! But if the situation collapsed, isn't it possible your daughters would be killed?
Yes, it is, and that's why I take reasonable precautions against stupid people.
What about smart people and powerful secret organizations like the learned elders of Masonry?
If there are secret organizations smart enough to control us for hundreds of years without us knowing it, they would also be smart enough to know that overtly holding my daughters captive to force my slavery would not be a sustainable environment. They would fail in the long run, and it would cost them more resources than if they had just tried to find something that works for both of us.
What about if you think you are free, but you are really a slave?
If I think I'm free, then the system must work for me.
What if the system lets you think you are free for now, while it gains power enough to force you to do things against your will later?
I can't imagine how the system could force me to do things against my will unless it held my daughters hostage or something, but that would not be a stable situation. It would lead to its own failure. I would have to believe that the entire system is so smart it can control us for centuries without our knowing, but so stupid it can't figure out that overt slavery is an extremely volatile situation, especially amongst educated people who communicate openly with each other.
What if they put us in concentration camps so we couldn't get to a web portal? They cut out our tongues so we couldn't talk, and amputated our fingers so we couldn't communicate via sign language.
I would not be very much good as a slave, then would I?
How about if they used mind control probes to get you to do exactly what they want you to do?
Without being able to form my own reasoning, it would be like cutting off my fingers and tongue. I would not be able to do much work unless it were directly controlled by someone else. It would be the more efficient for them to do the work themselves than to control every action I took as a mindless slave. To the extent that I had a mind, however, I would also have the ability to rebel. Slavery has no stable scenario.
What if they just want to reduce the population of the world?
Would that be a bad thing?
It would if you were one of the people they killed.
If I weren't alive, I can't see how I could possibly care.
Okay. What if government employees convinced us that there were secret societies that somehow wanted all these things, were smart enough to accomplish them for centuries, but stupid enough to not grasp the fundamental workings of human nature, and were evil beyond hope?
So, these societies weren't actually evil, smart and stupid at the same time, but corrupt government officials wanted us to think they were. For what reason?
So we would be terrified of all the evil in the world, and the politicians could rescue us from it, even if the evil were part of themselves.
that might work.
You don't look very terrified.
I'm not.